Hey everybody, I'm Bianca.
And I'm Latira, and welcome to Melanated Movie Moments. Hey Bianca,
Hey Latira.
how you feeling today?
I am good. I am good and I'm excited. I'm ready. How
Yep,
are
and we're
you?
back for another episode. So today we're going to talk about two movies, which we always do. Uh, so I'm going to start with the first movie, and that will be Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan
Also known as Michael
and
Bay to some of y'all.
not me, and the beautiful Lauren London.
In
Yay.
her return to the
Yes,
big
this is
screen.
yes, this is her return role. So let's get started. Let's get into it. What did you think?
Actually, okay. I I miss popcorn movies. Which is what I call this kind of movie. Like just
Mhm.
action, go have fun. Didn't have the highest expectations, I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
I enjoyed it. I don't think like I'm not sitting there screaming from the rooftop saying everybody must go see it, but I mean, I think for what it was, it delivered what it is, and it's also a springboard because I mean, of course, with most action movies, you want to do sequels, but like this is a whole
Mhm.
like book universe with this character. This character goes on. Without Remorse was the origin story of how they became who they are in other books, and
Mhm.
also for readers and or video game players, if you've ever heard of Rainbow Six, is related to this character and things that happen in a squad that character is a part of. And I think if this movie goes well, they're going to spin it off into like this Rainbow Six franchise that's led by the main character.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was like you said, I didn't have high expectations. I figured it would be at least average, B minus ish type movie. And it was. I mean, honestly, it was. I mean, I guessed I never read the books. I will admit to that. I know who Tom Clancy is, but I just never chose to read his novels. Um, but like I'm gonna say a good 30 minutes in, I kind of was like, oh, it's this. Okay, I guess this is cute, cool type thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's no spoiler to say like throughout the movie, you're like, okay, this is gonna happen. There'll be some kind of betrayals. There'll be a double cross. There'll be like
yeah,
you kind of know.
like dang, this one going to die. Okay, cool. Like you just kind of know. It's one of those movies like you kind of know. But if you just want some, shoot it up, blow it up, a little bit of entertainment, a few quick one-liners. It's a movie to
Yeah.
watch.
And I think Michael carried it well though.
He
And that's
did.
not me just being jaded because I'm a Michael B like fan. I'm not Stan, but
I'm
I'm a
not a
fan. But
I'm not a stan. I think
yeah.
he's okay.
But
But I do think he did well. I think he does well in all of his movies. I
yes.
won't say that he's believable to me as every character that he plays, but I could buy into this one.
Yeah, his charisma carries a lot of the movie. And I'm saying charisma because a lot of times you think about charisma and you're like, oh, jokey, laughy, smiley. And I'm like, no, he's
Mm-hmm.
pretty brooding and serious, but he has a very good presence that plays especially well with a movie like this. Like your main lead in an action film needs to grab your attention in their
Mm-hmm.
scenes, like because you're pretty much a movie like this can get better or be decimated by the wrong choice here. And I
Yeah.
think with the okay script, not bad, not great. Like as far as the way that everything lays out, and if you've read
Mm-hmm.
the book won't spoil it for you. I'm gonna tell you right now, they changed a lot, at least at the beginning, as far as what happens with his family and who the people are. They did a cleanup because the book is a little messier in that part, but they cleaned that up. But other than that, it was just like he held it, like he's holding it. It's good. It brought me in. I wanted to see more of it, and I believed his emotion in the scenes that are needed. So
Yeah.
I think that was good. And again, it's good. Come on, welcome back. It is so good to see Lauren.
Yes.
You have to watch the movie but even though they give it away if you watch the trailer, but it was just really good to see her
Mm-hmm.
um in the
Just back at it.
chemistry they shared in a short amount of time. I guess I'll just say that.
Yeah, that's yeah. You know, I'm gonna get this movie to the Black women though, because the other Jodie Turner-Smith,
yes,
Joe, I feel like if they would have paired Michael with anyone else, I don't know if it would have come across so well. Like you said, even though it's like a popcorn movie,
yeah.
Jodie and Michael's interactions made a lot more of it believable than not.
They humanize really both of them, but for him, it also gave him some moments of, it's a very, like I said, it's an emotionally charged movie. It makes sense that his character is not all that happy throughout, but he has little moments of levity, and some of those moments are with her in their interactions. And it's not all the time. They're serious, there's respect, they're there to do their mission, but there's these moments of, look, show me y'all have been on missions and y'all have a history, y'all trust each other and have a love and respect for each other without having to like hit you over the head with that. And you can tell that in little brief interactions that I thought were like, that's nice. You can tell there's a backstory with these characters. They've been through missions and things. And they know each other, and you actually see him laugh or briefly smile around her in certain moments, including there's a part on the plane where he's picking at her, bothering her briefly. And it's just like, that was nice to see. It was like a touch of human, not robot.
Right. It was like a familial vibe. Like,
and Jodie
like they were old family.
Jodie held it down as the woman, the sister in the room, and just, you knew, oh, that's command. Like she at the top, like she not playing with y'all, and she's standing firm in her decisions, and even a few times pushed back on Michael's character at times. In a way that wasn't necessarily dismissed, even when there were moments like, I'm gonna do this anyway, but it was almost like, you know, with all due respect, like he doesn't really care what happens to him many times. So it's like, so, but shout out to her, because I didn't see, for other reasons, I never saw her in Queen and Slim, because I just can't bring myself to watch that.
Correct, I cannot either. So.
I was excited as soon as I saw her name on this film and everything else, and I was just like, okay. And I really did enjoy that character. I'm glad you brought her up. Like,
yes, I enjoyed her character. Her character was well developed and well presented in the movie for me.
Yeah.
And then we had others in the movie, like Jamie Bell, who is a very seasoned actor who is in a good amount of films. So it was, I think the cast was well selected. Casting was a good thing. And again, like the movie, like Bianca said, was popcorn. So it's not really like, oh, it emoted this emotion, or it made me feel this way. It was just like, I'm going to watch a movie. And I watched the movie.
Yeah, it's not winning. It's not going to be an awards contender. I'm going to tell you.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
The fight sequences and stuff were pretty good too. I did enjoy some of the direction and cuts of some of those scenes. There were some scenes where I felt a little bit of the chaos of what a battle could be. So, but no, it's a good film. I hope, I am interested to see where they go with it. Also going into it, I knew that this was the origin story. So I didn't know how much that was going to affect the storyline, because it's like, all movies are introducing you, but I mean, literally, this is like, this is a movie that's
baseline,
set up other additional movies and put in all these pieces and still have a coherent story. But like I said, in the book series, this book didn't come first. It's like they did it as let me tell you where they came from. And,
so okay.
That
just gave me some perspective.
Yeah, it's the origin book. That character that showed up in a couple other books, including some of his Jack Ryan series and all these other books. But without Remorse was like, let's tell you about where, like, the background of this guy. So that's why this one started with it, because in movie lore, like, we're setting up the order so we can build.
Well, I mean, but in reality, they didn't have to. I mean, look at Silence of the Lamb, right?
Yeah, they
did Silence of the Lamb, then they did Hannibal, then they went back and did Red Dragon, which is the origin story.
Yeah.
After the fact. So we already knew about Hannibal Lecter. We got a story fully focused on Hannibal and some of the things he's done. And then we got the origin story of where this actually started, how he got into the jail for Silence of the Lamb, you know? So they didn't have to start with an origin story. But I mean, I guess for them, like you said, they're trying to build out a franchise. So they wanted people to buy into the characters. So I think and trying to buy into the characters, this made sense. This movie makes sense for buy-in, but I'm not sure if everyone's gonna buy in because, like you said, it was very. I could guess the plot.
It was.
Character acting was good. Character development for some characters was good. For some characters was like, you could have given me a little more. Yeah, that's what I got. That's all
And
I
there
have.
is a mid-credit scene that you stay on and watch it.
Yes.
Okay, I just
Yes,
was
I
about to
did.
say. And yeah, there's
Yes.
a reference to that series I was talking about during that, like when they talk about what's next, and I'm like,
Yes.
here we go.
So Marvel has forced me to watch every movie, even if it's not one of theirs, through the credits. Because if you don't watch movies through the credits nowadays, you might miss something vital.
I always search. I'm always like, okay. So I recommend y'all watch it. Like if you just hate action movies, then don't watch it. I mean,
Right.
because it is a true blue. Reminds me of like, not in the style, but like literally, I saw so many movies like this throughout like the 90s and 2000s and all this stuff. Like it was just action movie. It's gonna be a bad guy. You're probably gonna guess who they are at some point, and you're gonna guess certain things are gonna happen. But like I said, it wasn't bad. It was just an okay movie. So if you're sitting chilling and just want something something that's not gonna make you think too hard, but you want an action movie, go ahead.
I mean, it could be a date night movie. Honestly, it could truly be a date night movie.
Yeah. So watch it, and it's a good cast. Like you just said, like the cast really, they casted it well, and it kind of almost helps with some of the parts that are like, with different casts, this movie might have been, but because they had a really good cast, at least it brought it to like, okay, average. Go see it.
I would give it at least a B-.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing more. I want to see what they do with if they do this. I want to see what they do with the second movie, and at that point, I'll be like, is this franchise worth to stay with or not? Like, I'm interested to see. This was okay, and I want to see what that next step is. So,
but see, the problem with
franchise, though, y'all, it's not on that level.
But here's the problem with franchises for a person like me. If I buy in, right? So say they make it a franchise. If I watch the second movie, I'm going to have to watch the entire franchise, just because even if the movies are bad, I need to know how you tie it together.
I mean, that's facts. I sat through the entire Game of Thrones thing, even the terrible last season. I understand. Once you start, you got to finish.
Let's not discuss those things.
We're not. But y'all, that's mine. What do you think? You want to people go see it? What do you think?
I would recommend that you see it, like Bianca said. And here's the thing: we rarely agree, so understand this. We're agreeing that you should see it. She's not always right. I would say see it. It's just something to watch. It's just pure entertainment, pure basic action film. Like she said, 90s, like a Lethal Weapon-esque, but better graphics because better technology.
All right. We ready for movie number 2?
Whew, number 2. Let's go. What's our number 2?
Okay. Anyway,
I thought we was about to fight. I was ready. I was ready to like rock 'em, sock 'em robot or something.
If you play video games, when you select the character and do the little bob, like they just wait to see you pick them. Yeah, that's what I was.
I know what you were doing. Okay, so before we get into the movie, if you were a character in Mortal Kombat, who would you be?
I don't know why I'm thinking Katana.
Really?
I love Katana. It was gonna be that or Sonya Blade because she dressed a little more in my style, but Katana, I just think that's just a killer with style. Boy, Katana will cut you up, boy.
I mean, I would need to be Lord Raiden. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I would need to be Lord Raiden. I would need to be in charge. I'm just saying.
When the movie started, I was like, I am ready, y'all. I am ready. But there is something, and I'm glad I got a warning because my fabulous, wonderful co-host that I give all these compliments to, even though, she's so mean to me. But, it's okay. Jealousy manifests in different ways. It's okay. It's when you always right, people sometimes trying to get you, peg you down.
Oh, Lord.
But she gave me a great warning, which I already could tell from the rating and the little things I saw in the trailer. And she was like, you might not want your kids to watch this. And I just was like, okay, yeah, this movie graphic.
Graphic is an understatement. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching the movie like this part of the time because of how gruesome it was. I was like, oh.
And it's not gruesome throughout. I'll tell y'all that. Like, there's plenty of scenes where it's either, there's talking, there's fights, or there's like blood that you expect, but there's particular moments during fights or at the end of fights where it's like, oh, we going full on fatality move, but on the real screen, and it's going to be zoomed up close, and you're going to see insides of people and stuff falling out of people, and like it's been to go. I was like, oh, we going there. This movie was not worried about nobody. Let me try to get a PG to get my no. This movie is like, we getting this R, we finna earn this R. You finna see people intestines fall out them when they get stabbed, like literally, like
you heard finish him like more than once when you watch that movie. Like, it really went there. I was just like, oh, okay. Wish I had a trigger warning because I was not prepared. So just to everyone who's gonna watch, be prepared for the gore. Like, it is like in your face. It is in your face gore. And I knew, like she said, the old Mortal Kombats were very cheesy when we were kids. Yes, this is a great movie. As an adult, I'm like, what did I watch? But with this one, they were like, great movie or not, you're gonna get all of this blood. You're gonna get all of these guts. It was a lot.
They don't pull any punches. Nothing got edited out on that. So it's just like, so just be prepared. If you're a person that don't really bug you, it didn't super bug me once. I was surprised too. The first time it happened, I was like, oh, this is what we doing. Okay. And I was fine. But I was like the friend I was watching with, literally, it was like, tell me when this part's over. And I was like, I'll tell you when this part's over, because it was a little like for them. So just know that going in based on, how you want your viewing experience to go. They don't last super long.
But this is also another quote origin story. I feel like they are rebooting the franchise.
They are.
They are rebooting the franchise. And so this was the origin story, because anyone who's familiar with Mortal Kombat, they're champions, and they are people who selected. Some are champions by birth. Some have done things throughout their life. And Lord Raiden for the Earth Realm has selected them to be a fighter. And if they win, they get the badge. If they don't, they die. I mean, that's the clean and cut version of the,
And the badge also symbolizes that I think that you're selected and you will be one of the true like warriors.
Something like that.
Yeah, and if you get the badge, there's some other power for you to unlock, which was a cool way of them explaining, like letting some other characters, not all of them did their signature moves, but kind of explaining like how some of the characters could do things that's like, ain't you an Earth Realm person? How you got the power to do this, or this special hat, or this special power blast? And it was just like, that kind of came with like, if you're one of these chosen ones, there's some other power that at some point you got to figure out what it is to unleash. It kind of comes as a surprise to them most of the time if you actually get to see them. There's a few characters you see when they discover what it is, and then a couple that seem like they came already knowing. But there's a few in that moment, and they're like, "Oh, hold up now," like kind of thing. Like it's like,
and they evolved the story some, because they and this may have been in the original, and I just don't remember because I was a kid. But they've included additional characters per se as like a lineage thing, not so much as the original players.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a creative license that was okay. It was cool to add it, because it gave a little more sense to how these things played out. If you watch the movie, the first scene, you're like, so how is this going to play out?
Yeah.
But by them creating this whole lineage character situation, you get how it plays out. It makes sense.
Yeah, there's a character. It's that Cole. That's his name.
Cole. Yep, that's his name.
And I felt when I was watching it, I was like, oh, they're doing that movie thing, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I just recognize it when you kind of have a character that's
out of
the
place.
every man or the every person, almost like they're supposed to be like the regular person giving the reaction, almost like I'm reacting like you will react because I'm not part of this, but I'm watching it unfold, and I'm kind of like the person for you to see this unfold, even though they made him a character in itself, and we figure out and they kind of created this thing around him. But at first, it was almost like, how would you react if all of a sudden someone just hopped in the car and really quickly just told you like this crazy, what sounds crazy, like to you, you know what I'm saying? Like you're a regular person, you're a fighter, but you're not like, what, out of realms, worlds, what are you talking about? So he also gets his tail whooped a lot in the movie until
listen, I was like, bruh.
Little Cole get beat up. Not little, he ain't small, but I'm just saying, I'm like, are you
all
sure?
I'm gonna say,
is this
all I'm gonna say is his wife was tougher than he was. Like, dude, come on. And she's not even a fighter. She's not even a warrior from the realm. Like, your baby girl was tougher than you were, sir.
I was like, look, I get that we're supposed to realize that these some heavy hitters. So it makes sense. Little Cole was going to get his tail handed to him like, oh, you think you can fight? Let me show you what you're going to. I get it. But it kept happening. And I was just like, at some point, is Cole going to want to fight? At some point.
Yeah. I was like,
I was waiting for him.
So, and that's why I was saying, I was trying to understand the value of his character. Like because he was not a specific character, and I don't want to fully spoil the movie.
No, he wasn't.
So, but he was not that specific character, which originally watching the movie and how it played out, I'm like, oh, so he's gonna get that and be that. And then he wasn't. Yeah. So I was confused as to his role in the movie. Like, what is your purpose?
You gotta wait all the way to the end kind of for that to come full circle. And then you realize the connection between the earlier character and now. And I was like, oh, so I know Cole is the person we're following, but it almost felt like, Cole, you're there for this other character, for us to see this manifestation of this other character story.
Right.
Kind of just at the beginning and the end, but still it feels like your piece in lineage.
Without your piece, it doesn't link.
Understand this other character who we love. And I don't want to give how they're connected, but it is a favorite because when they showed up and said a certain line, I screamed for that character. I hollered. I was like,
I screamed.
Yes. I said it. I did.
I was like,
I said it with him. Like that part, you gotta watch it because it is a fan favorite ish. There's another character that I will say, because it's a new movie and like the acting is up and down in this film.
I'm about to say, I didn't even pay attention to the acting. I'm not gonna lie. So I did not pay attention to the acting, so clearly it wasn't that good. But because it was one of those movies it is nostalgia. This is a movie based on a game that we played as kids. This is a movie based on movies from our child and young adulthood that realistically, we don't care if it's good. We just want the action to be like, the purpose is that the fights are everything. Like the action needs to be top notch. If that's there, do we really care about too many other lines? Do we really care about the plot? No.
I only noticed, but on the other hand, the gentleman that plays Sub-Zero, I thought that was perfect. Thought he was the perfect amount of cold, psychotic, or sociopath, or whatever. Like I just thought it was. I thought Sub-Zero hit the notes for what that character feels like in the game. Like I didn't need you to do no profound acting, but like the energy around it, I was like, Sub-Zero, yes. Raiden, I need you to bring that presence. I did not feel it.
Right, yeah, I would agree. Raiden's character needs to be stepped up a bit, but also his character was not fully in the movie a lot either. Like it was like you saw the character so few times that it was hard to be like, oh. And then I'm with you. Actually, dang, I gotta agree with you again.
Because Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero could have done one scene as that character, and I still felt like, oh, this is big Sub-Zero energy. Like this is Sub-Zero.
Kano, again, we're not talking about the acting, we're talking about the essence of the character, because acting, Kano, I got great Kano energy from that character. I did.
Even the little funny, snarky, so I was like, yes, this one good too.
I did get great Kano energy off that character.
Yeah. I like Sonya up and after not the first scene, but as the movie went on, I like the person playing Sonya.
It progressed,
especially some of the back and forth with Kano, and it progressed. And as the movie went, I was like, okay, I'm actually okay. I believe you. And I also like when movies, as for even though this is a video game, they had some, I would say, realism moments because at the end of the day, like we know if you watch it, Sonya Blade is like, you know, she's a fighter. She's trained. She does all this stuff. But there are some scenes in tight spaces where she's fighting someone that's just larger and stronger than her, and you watch her end up beating them with like technique, with thought, and the fact that she is a cold fighter. But at the end of the day, it was like, no, anytime they grabbed her, they're tossing her tail like she's smaller than them. But I like the realism of like, oh, she's not this indestructible G.I. Jane doll that can't be hurt. At the end of the day, like she's still human from the earth realm. And if you're bigger and stronger and you grab this, like this woman fighting this huge man. But then what she got was like, I'm out you, I'm gonna do these moves, I'm gonna be strategic, I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna do what I need to do. And it was like, I actually could believe like you would win this, like literally just because it made sense. It wasn't no moment where all of a sudden you did something that just was like, okay, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, she grew on me during the movie. Jax was okay. I know that actor was okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was him or the lines he had to deliver though, in fairness on some of it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Like I'm like the jury's out for me on Jax. Like I didn't think it was in my but I also wasn't like, yeah, you got it. I kind of was like, we.
I'm gonna have to wait and see, because I was more like, nah, we could have done without you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess your character had a purpose, but we could have done without you.
There is a scene that is written for him. I get it. So this is more of a screenwriting thing. That's early on, and they're in a car, and two things happen. One, they do that scene where I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of information in a short amount of time because there's no other way for this movie to explain this part to you. So in this car, I'm going to tell you really quickly what's going on, and that's for us to know what's happening. I don't always like that. I know sometimes it has to happen, but I'm just saying there was like a conversation in the car where he's like, there's realms and earth. It was like, wait, what are we doing?
Let me tell you, and this is how much I did not listen. I didn't pay attention to the acting at all because I don't remember that scene.
And they do a thing. It bothers me, y'all. I might be nitpicking on this, but maybe because it happened so early, and I was still like, okay, I'm excited about the movie, but it's still at the beginning, and I'm trying to see. There is a scene, and I'm not telling y'all the meat of the fight of the scene, but Sub-Zero is trying to, y'all know Sub-Zero's a villain. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a villain. He's trying to destroy this man and family, and like he's with the other realm people. Like the whole point is, it's Mortal Kombat, mortal, kill you. Like, come on. He stands in front of their car, and in this car holds the person and people that he could, that you think he out to get. And instead of doing anything, he stands in the street. Jax talks to this man and his people. They get out the car and talk some more. Sub-Zero's right there. He could just end this now. And then was like, you need to leave. No, I want to fight. I suggest you leave if you want to live. Gets in the car, reverses, and lets them drive away. And I was like, Sub-Zero, why would you just, it's almost like he was like, yeah, just let them talk. Let's let this scene go. I mean, I'm standing here, but we can wait. No, it just was like, why is he just standing there not doing nothing and letting them get away? I know for the movie, you don't want the movie to end 15 minutes into the movie. I get it. But I'm just saying, I'm like.
But yeah, those are those like plot holes that you're like, this just does not make sense. And again, so for me, because I did not really care about the plot or the acting, I was just like, whatever. We just trying to get to the fight scenes. I got it. So I glazed over so much of that. Let's have a storyline part. I really did. So for everybody watching, this is one of those movies. I really didn't care about the storyline, didn't care about the actors. I just wanted to see the action and the yell Mortal Kombat and the yell finish him.
Whoopsie. Sorry.
That's really what I wanted to do because that's what I thought the movie was. I thought it was watching a video game.
So what's your recommendation here?
So my recommendation is go ahead and watch it, right? I understand that it's very gory, but don't go into it expecting masterpiece theater. Like, go in expecting that you watching this video game play out with real people and laugh a little bit, be shocked at the gore, and move on. Like,
Yes.
I would say it's a C minus at best.
Yeah, I give both movies today like a C.
Oh,
But I would say, and it's funny because both were set up as origin. Because again, this Mortal Kombat one is pre-tournament. It's not, here's the people, it's the setup movie, and then we're jumping right in the tournament. It's like, it's not, it's set up like, who are these people? What is the turn, like, well, kind of setting up some background for you to understand, I guess, once the tournament comes, what is happening in the realms and stuff, like things.
What's their talent? Do they have talent?
Yeah, things you'll need to know. So now they won't have to explain. So I'm pretty sure the next movie probably will dive right kind of into whatever in the challenge in the tournament, and they won't have to re-explain the stuff they already explained. So it's another origin story. And I mean, I thought it was, like you said, it was a good solid C. I geeked out because there were things that I was like, just excited me. Like we said, like this character coming up and they say their line and I'm hollering their line with them. It's not because the movie was a masterpiece. It's just the nostalgia of it was like, I enjoyed it. And that probably for me brought it to a C plus because of
C minus for me.
It might not be the movie itself. It's just, I had so much fun for me watching it, just recalling phrases and things like that. But you know, it's not like the greatest movie, but I don't think it's like bad. It's not trash. It's again, it's both of these movies are C's. This movie is a C.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're, like you said, movies to watch, but no expectation should be had. Period.
So, and just know, I would love to hear. But I would ask, but before we wrap, I would love to hear in the comments, which one of us do you think you would pick in a fight?
Let's hear her, because I would be lower rating.
You don't have the reach though. You like 4'10". It's okay.
Y'all see,
reach. I could just do this.
That's not nice, but you know, giants always fall. But anyway, make sure y'all keep checking us out.
Follow us, click and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, there's like a little bell or something down here. Click on that.
Set them notifications. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Melanated Movie Moments. And you can also email us your movie suggestions at melanatedmoviemoments@gmail.com.